Welcome back to Creating Cooperative Kids. I'm your host, Bill Corbett. Whether it's good grades, finding their passion, or discovering the gifts inside of them, most parents strive to set their kids up for success throughout their entire childhood, knowing it'll all lead to them living a happier life as an adult. I can't think of anything greater a parent would want than to be able to watch their children as adults, living a life filled with happiness and contentment. So what can parents begin doing right now? My next guest has some advice for parents on how to do it. Peggy Hoyme is a former school teacher with a degree in elementary and special education. She's a certified parenting instructor and family coach with Cooperative Kids and is also a certified abundance intelligence leader. Peggy has been a motivational speaker for over 20 years and creates and delivers practical happiness workshops for parents and professionals. Welcome to the show, Peggy.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So would you agree with me that most parents, I would say 99% of parents, truly want their children to experience success and
Absolutely,
be successful?
absolutely. And I just did a seminar a few days ago, and I used one of the tools that I actually learned from you, Bill, and having parents think ahead. When you see your child in 20 years, what kind of an adult do you want to see? What kind of qualities are going to be important? And every parent, without a doubt, has said, I want my child to be happy, and I want them to be successful. There you have it.
So good, and I think we can get most parents on the same page. So what can parents start doing now? Actually, you know what, before that, I want to ask you a question. What is the difference between people who accomplish what they want in life and those who don't?
You know, Bill, that's an interesting question, because for about 30 years I've been studying what is the difference between the people who create what they say they want in life and the people who don't. And studies have shown that people who create the lives that they want, it has very little to do with intelligence, it has very little to do with how they did in school, and it has everything to do with their ability to focus and their ability to believe in themselves. So my concern and the message that I want to give to parents is we need to teach our children the skills that they need so that when they figure out what they really want to do in life, they know how to make it happen. I get concerned that we put so much emphasis on the end result. What kind of a grade are you getting? How young are you when you're learning to read? It feels like we are cramming a lot of the academics into our children, but we may be failing to give them the tools that they need so that they know how to create success. So one of the things I tell parents is we need to teach children from a young age how to focus. And some children focus easier than others, but every child can learn the skills of how to focus. So I love to go into homes and I love to give parents practical strategies and how to teach their child, even at the age of 3, to begin little segments of focus. Along with that, teaching them how to problem solve. How do you match socks together? Can you keep at this and help mom until the time in the timer runs out? Right?
Yeah.
And when they can get it for 1 minute, we graduate from 1 minute. Can we go to 2 minutes? And we begin to build and teach them how to focus. The other skill, according to Adam Cox, who wrote the book No Mind Left Behind, it's critical that we teach our children about delayed gratification. One of the problems in our society today is we're giving children the message that they only have to focus on the things that they're interested in. And what is that? Video games, electronics. We need to teach children delayed gratification. What are the necessary things to do, even though they're not the things that the kids love? So starting at a young age, what does that look like? You know what, sweetie? I know you want to go outside, and you can just as soon as you pick up your clothes. Right?
Yeah.
So, and the other thing I encourage parents to do in setting their children up for success, do not acknowledge and praise your child for grades. I see parents handing out money for A's, and they get so much for A's and so much for B's. I really have a hard time with that. I encourage parents to acknowledge and reward your children for the tools that they use to get the grades. A C to one child may be as big of an accomplishment to that child as an A to another child, right?
Yeah.
So reward your child for doing their best. Teach children at an early age that what's important isn't that they're perfect, but that they always do the best that they can do.
You know, that's so important. And one thing that came to mind for me is I would encourage parents, and we can certainly address this to the parents in the audience today, instead of rewarding the child for the grades, reward them for actually doing their homework or doing the homework. So, for example, one thing I encourage parents to do is their job is not to make sure that they get A's, B's, and C's. Their job is to make sure they give it all that they have. And how to do that is by setting up homework time. And the kids in the audience aren't going to like to hear this, but during homework time there should be no electronics, no handheld devices. Oh, I see some sad faces. But the parent should work with the child to establish and carve out when is the homework time, Sunday through Thursday. Mm-hmm. And that's a very firm time, a beginning and an ending, and the kids get to say what that time should be. But when their homework time is done, that's it. They're allowed to go off and do whatever they want. That's when electronic devices are returned to them, even if their homework isn't done. If their homework isn't done, the homework belongs to them, not the parents. So if the child chooses not to do their homework, that's their problem. The parent's job is to make sure that there's a quiet place for them to focus.
The environment.
And that's right, the environment, have enough supplies, making sure they're getting adequate sleep, making sure their diet is appropriate and healthy, and then their job is to stand back and wait if they're needed. Because the child's got to take over, and too many times we find kids don't want to do their homework because they think they don't own it. Right?
Yes, absolutely right. Here's the thing, Bill. I've been working in the arena of children for over 30 years. And I have never met a child who does not want to be successful. Children want to succeed. And I have never met a child that cannot learn. And I have worked with children that other teachers have given up on. Kids want to be successful, they want to learn, and they are capable of learning. I also tell parents, don't praise your child for everything he or she does. Help them to find what they're good at and acknowledge that. Help them to find where they shine. Our goal should not be to make our children, quote unquote, normal, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Our intention needs to be to help every child reach his or her full capacity.
So you're absolutely right. And one thing that I love to tell parents is when the child accomplishes something, and it's very normal for a child to go, "What do you think, Mom? What do you think?"
Yes.
And when the parent's confronted with that, they say, "Well, I think that's pretty cool, but I want to know more about what you think about it." So if they create a beautiful picture that is hung in the hallway at school, and they say, "Look, Mom, look what I did," the parent can say, "That's really nice. I want to know what you think about it." That's more important. So the old styles, what our parents did is they would take our pictures and hang them on the refrigerator. I don't like doing that. And I ask my children, where do you want to hang that picture? Because maybe they want to hang it in their bedroom for them to admire. And so that actually begins to disengage from having them do things for the praise, for somebody else's benefit, instead doing things because they feel good about what they just created. That's what creates fulfillment. Right?
Yes. And you can do that even in other tasks. When little girl or little boy comes in and says, Mommy, I made my bed. And you can go in and say, wow, you did. What do you think of what you did? That's how we build confidence. 3 things your child needs in order to succeed in life: focus, delayed gratification, and confidence.
So we only got a couple minutes, but what are some things parents can start doing right away that come to mind for you, with either helping them create focus or some specific things that
one
we can
of the
help?
things for focus, and again, Bill, I learned this from you, have your children at a young age make storyboards. And instead of telling them what to do this, now do this, just point to the storyboard and let them focus and let them move along. So set up the environment so that they can be more independent.
So you're saying the storyboard being the sequence of events and what has to be done.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely. And delayed gratification, again, something from your book, by the way, I have to say this, Love, Limits, and Lessons needs to be on every parent's bookshelf. Why? Because it's practical. And a lot of the strategies I'm talking about you'll find in the book. But let the children make a dream book. Kids should not have everything they want when they want it, right? However, they see something they want to buy, you validate it. Wow, I can see how you really want that. That's a great idea. Let's go home and put it in your dream book.
Yes, that's excellent. And the other thing I want to offer to parents is, because some parents are buying everything for their kids,
Yes.
whether they can afford it or not. The thing that a lot of parents suffer from is the kids come home and go, all my friends have an iPhone, I want an iPhone. All my friends have an Xbox, I want an Xbox. And so when I encourage parents to say, when the child says, I know they do, but we're not ready. I'm not ready for you to have one
Yes.
here. I'm not ready to spend the money on that. Notice it's not the child. They can want all they want. There's nothing wrong with wanting, because we want them to want. Because when they go out into the world as an adult, we want them to have the want bone in their body to go, I want this, I want
them
that.
to be hungry.
That's right.
Yes.
But so when they want something, and you're not okay with them having it, you say, I'm not ready for you to have that. I'm not ready for us to spend the money on that. I'm not ready for you to bring that home, that kind of thing.
So, Bill, here's the thing. Parents feel guilty. Everybody on the street has an Xbox, and I'm saying no to my child. Here's what you do, Mom and Dad. Put on your refrigerator, what kind of adult do you want to see your child become? When you go to visit your child in 20 years and he or she's an adult, you open the door, what kind of a person do you want to see on the other side of the door? Put that on your refrigerator, and then bring yourself to the moment by asking a powerful question. Is the action that I'm about to take going to help my child to become confident, to learn delayed gratification, to become focused, to become that confident, independent problem solver that I want him or her to be?
And that's an awesome way for us to wrap up this segment. Thank you so much, Peggy.
Thank
you. It was
you.
great having you here, and I think the parents, not only in our studio audience, but our viewers will also benefit a great deal from that. When we think about success for your kids, one area that usually tops the list is success with money. So what can parents do to ensure that type of success for their kids? Now, coming up in my next segment, we'll meet an author and a speaker on that very topic who will share some advice for parents on the topic of kids and money. Stay with us through the break. We'll be right back.